we are going to be knitting chunky yarn blankets. Originally, I have tried arm knitting, but I just could not get that to work for me. I don't know if I didn't have the right kind of yarn. This yarn is very fragile and can come apart if pulled too strongly. It's also very, very chunky. Or if my arms are weird sizes, I don't know, but I could not get my chunky blanket to look nice with arm knitting. So I switched to regular knitting and was really happy with the results of this blanket. So we're gonna learn how to do that. It's super simple. If you know how to knit, it's just a basic knit stitch, as I'm sure you can see. If you don't, this is probably one of the best ways to learn. I went and got some really big knitting needles. You don't have to get knitting needles that look like this. You can get normal knitting needles that are just, you'll want them to be longer so it can hold the blanket. I have these. I know it's for round knitting, but I like to put my blankets on these because it gives you a little bit more room to work with. They also don't have to be this thick. These are 35 millimeters. So it can be smaller. It can be like a starting knit, or starting needles are really good because you really want to start with chunkier needles so that you can see your work. I made the mistake and did not do that when I first learned to knit, and it took me much longer. This is so easy to do once you get the hang of it. Okay, so now we're gonna cast on. So I'm gonna take about 6 feet of yarn to prepare to cast on. And then I'm going to tie a loop into that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it just like this, pull it through, and just do a little slip knot. Okay, so there's my slip knot. So you are going to slip that onto one of your knitting needles and kind of tighten it. And then what you're going to do is you are going to get this yarn onto your knitting needle. I'm guessing that this is going to be about 18-ish stitches based on a video I watched earlier, but I'm really bad at judging how many stitches it's going to be. So we're going to find out. So what you do from this point is, this is your yarn that's going to be generating the stitches. And this is your working yarn. This yarn goes down here and is attached to this skein. So what you're going to do is take the working yarn and create a loop. So I like to pull from under and create a loop just like this, and then pull the other yarn through. So I'll show you that one more time. And that creates your first stitch. You always want to go this yarn away from you, and you're going to create a loop just like this, and then grab the excess yarn and pull it through that loop and put it on the knitting needle. And then you pull to tighten it. You don't want to tighten it too much, but you do want to get these stitches nice and firm, especially with the yarn being as loose as it is. But it also just depends on the stitch you're going through. So you're going to continue doing that, and I'll show you one more time until you can count the number of stitches. So if you want to hit 15, if you want to hit 18, you can. In my opinion, this is a blanket. I like to go until this yarn is done. So we're just going to go ahead and knit the rest of these on. So remember, you loop like this, and then pull that through, and then put it on your stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold it with the stitches on the inside, and you're going to hold 2 knitting needles in your hand, whether they are this kind of knitting needle or just the long ones that works the exact same. So you're going to take your first stitch and pull it up, and this working yarn is in the back. And so you're going to come up in between these two, and just be really careful if you're using this yarn. It's really easy to split. And this second knitting needle goes behind, and then you take this and you run it around the back needle, and you pull that through and you pull it off, and that's your first stitch. And then the first row is always a little more difficult, and you kind of get in the swing of things. And this yarn is a little bit harder to work with because it is so fragile, but at the same time it doesn't like to slide on. So I'll show you again. So you come up behind this, and you hold both of them in this hand, and you wrap that between the two and pull it off. And there you go. And you tighten it down, and so that's a stitch. So that you have your stitches on is in your left hand or your non-dominant hand. And then we are going to basically just continue knitting like we did before. So you're going to come up behind this, grab the working yarn, which I actually need to pull out a little more, move it around, bring it down and underneath, and pull it off, and tighten it. Okay, so now that I have my blanket as large as I would like it, I'm going to cast off. You want to make sure to leave enough yarn to cast off. I made that mistake and I had to undo a row in order to have the yarn I needed. So you do need to have enough yarn to knit another row to cast off. So you're going to take your knitting needles like normal, and you're just going to knit 2 stitches. Just like that. So I have 2 stitches over here, the rest of my stitches over here. And then what you're going to do is you are going to lift the back one over the first stitch and tighten it. One thing I learned through doing this the hard way is do not tighten it too much because it will make your blanket lopsided. You just want to pull it enough so that it's there. So then you're going to knit another stitch, and then you're going to do the same thing. Pull this second one over the first one and off the needle, and then tighten it. And you're just going to continue doing that until you have 1 stitch left on this needle. So now you have your last stitch, and you have a little bit of a tail. You're going to want to cut this off if it's still attached to the rest of your yarn, just so it's a little bit, and you're going to basically, there's several different ways to do this, but all you're really doing is getting this to go through this loop so that you can tie out your blanket. So I take mine out and pull it through, especially with my chunkier yarn, and tighten it down. And then you have your blanket. And I will cut this off as well as my starter strand. And then, looking at where we tied our extra yarn in, I have mine right here. I'll be cutting this off, and I like to just sort of tuck the knot in. Now, there are more complex ways that I am currently learning to tie in new yarn, be that a different color, a new color, something like that. So there are ways that make it not have a knot that other YouTubers can show you. Really, if you just look up, how to tie in new yarn to your stitch, you'll find something. So, other than that, we have a blanket that we made.